flow in the hospital changed, and we had to adapt to that almost overnight. You know, we were making wards, we were changing IT on the infrastructure side, and I think we really stood up. You know, we were sort of called out by the chairman and the CIO that we really rose to the occasion, and interestingly, the CEO did say it was great to have a partner like NTT because they stood up and they got the job done.
We found a lot of problems with communication. Communication within the team, and communication with the patient, and communication from the patient to their relatives at home. What we were doing was shouting a lot. That is exhausting for staff. It is obviously not a way for relatives to communicate with patients. Within the team, there's a real safety issue because, you know, for example, saying, is the tube in the right place? And someone says the tube's not in the right place. If you don't hear that word not, you can make a really bad assumption, which can have very bad effects for the patient. We talked to NTT DATA about how we might connect to the telephone system, and we eventually found a partnership with a group of Formula One racing engineers and got some money from the government COVID funding to develop a prototype of a communications device.
So, for example, yeah, you can't, but if I say, can you go and switch that mic on, please, then you can get it straight away.
We had to be quite dynamic in our response, and it almost changed daily, sometimes hourly, the needs of the hospital and us aligning to their needs and making sure we could support them and continue to provide the IT service that they needed to fight COVID-19.
NTT were instrumental in setting up the video communication between the patient and their relatives. That was done really rapidly in a matter of 2 or 3 days to set up the systems that enabled this really important communication to take place.
The piece that really that I'm incredibly proud of is how we have stood shoulder to shoulder, jab to jab, as I like to say, with our UHL colleagues. They have treated us, and we are seen as being one team. And the guys, this isn't just about how they change working. There's a lot of frontline guys who are in, day out, standing by, providing services to the client and better patient care.
These badges are particularly special because they're awarded to NHS workers, that we've been recognised alongside our colleagues in the NHS.
It is a great relationship that NTT has with University Hospitals of Leicester, right across the board. It does feel like one team, one partnership.